In this video, we will be discussing about the scope of the function. So we can have different kinds of variables in a function. Variables can be local or global. Local variables are the variables that are created inside the function. They are used inside the function, and they cannot be accessed outside the function. So those are local variables. What are global variables that are created outside the function? Multiple functions can use that variable, and that variable can be accessed by other functions as well. But there is a very important rule which Python follows whenever it's going to look up for a name. So first it looks up for the local variable, sees if there is a variable that's inside a function. Second, it goes for the enclosing, the variables that are inside the function, nested function concept, and then it goes for the global variables. And finally, it looks for the built-in variable and variables in the Python. So here is an example which follows a local variable. The x is created, value 10 is assigned, and what we are doing, we are calling this function, and the variable x is created here, displayed here, and it ends here. So after it's done, if we try to print it outside the function, it will have no value. It will give it actually an error, and the error will be name error because x is not available in the global scope. Next, we have created a global variable g that we are trying to access in a function called read global. Here we can easily print it and we can see the value. We can also print this function outside the function, this variable outside the function, and we can see the value of g here, and that's printed 100. So another example is that changing global variable inside a function. So that requires very extreme care. So in order to modify it, we have to use a global keyword. In this way, we can ensure that the global variable is being updated, not a local variable has been created. So it's generally like it's in a professional code. Have a use of global is not very encouraged. It is actually very important to make it make least amount of use of global keyword, and it makes it very hard to debug codes. So here we have a counter variable and there's an increment function. In this function, we want to use this global variable, so we write global counter, which refers that this is not a local variable for increment function. This is a global variable, and we are going to use it here. And here we are incrementing one in it, and we are actually calling the function increment twice and then printing the value of counter. So you can see that one will be added twice in the counter, and now we have two as an output. So a safer alternative is not to use global. Instead, assign the value to the global variable. So instead of like writing, like in the previous example, we saw that we used a global keyword. Instead of doing that, we can create a local variable here, increment it, then return it, then assign to that global variable. So it's a much better choice and a safer choice for assigning the value. That's it for the lecture. In the next lecture, we will discuss more in detail about arguments and keyword arguments. That's it for now. See you in the next video. Bye.